Hello BookTube, welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth and today's the last day of September and I've been working on organizing my October TBR. So I thought before I got back into the rest of my summer book hauls, I would just go ahead and do a video about what I'm going to be reading for October. Now I said when I did my September TBR, which was mainly focused on series, that I was going to mainly focus on standalone books for October. Now that is still the plan, however, I have still a few series books that I need to get read this year. And if I do standalones this month, nonfiction in November, and Christmas in December, I don't know when I'm going to get those read unless I try to weave a few of them in along with what I'm focusing on. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I have three that will finish series that I still want to read, and so I'm thinking I will go ahead and start on my standalone audiobooks this first week of October, but I may go ahead and read those three print books this coming week and try to knock out the rest of those series. So so that's kind of what it's looking like that I'm going to do. So I'll show you the series books that are still potentially on my October TBR, and but mainly I want to show you the standalones. Now I have a list of standalones that are on audiobook that will complete my list of 17 audiobooks for this year, with the exception of a couple of Christmas books. I should be able to get most of that list finished this month. And then I have some print books. So if I can fit them all into one video, I will, but if it starts looking like it's going to be kind of long, then I will I'll just go ahead and show you the audiobooks for this video and then do another separate video of the print books. So let's start with the audiobooks. Some of these are on Hoopla and I will be accessing those on my phone. And they are The Second Sister by Marie Bostwick. Marie Bostwick is one of my sister's favorite authors. She writes the Cobbled Court series, and I have not read this standalone book that's by her, and I noticed that it was on Hoopla. And so I'm going to listen to this month, and not that I really want to, but if I need to, I can speed it up if it's on my phone. A lot of these books are on CD and I don't have the ability to speed them up, so if I run short on time or something, or if I'm not enjoying it, or if it just seems like it's dragging, then I will speed it up maybe like 1.5 times or something. Then another book I'm definitely going to speed up. This is a recent addition to my TBR. It was not on my original list of 17, and it's not even a book that I want to read. So you're probably thinking, why in the world are you going to read it? Well, I said at the beginning of the year that I was not going to do the Pop Sugar or the Around the Year in 52 Books. However, I started seeing other people doing it, and I looked at the list and I started kind of plugging in the books that I had already read or that I'm definitely going to read. And really, there's just a few more books that are already on my TBR that when I read those, I will have both of those lists completed with the exception of one challenge. And it's on the Around the Year in 52 Books challenge. And the prompt is to read a Penguin Modern classic. Well, there are 2 or 3 of those that I've already read, and there was not a single one of those that I had any interest in reading, and really just one of them that I had even kind of just thought about reading, and it's short. I found it on Hoopla. At regular time, it's about 4 hours, so if I speed it up double time, I can get it knocked out in 2 hours, and that is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Now, a lot of you love this book, and I hope I do, but my expectations are so low that I will be really pleasantly surprised if I enjoy it. So, what have I got to lose if I don't think I'm going to like it in the first place? And it's so short that I should be able to get through it within, like I said, 2 to 3 hours at the most. Now, I never had to read this for school, and I know a lot of you had to read it, and a lot of you have said that you really love this book, so maybe I will, but I guess I'll know soon enough. So then there's a couple of other books that are on Hoopla, but I forgot they were on Hoopla, so I went ahead and ordered the audio CD from our library. One of those is Before Green Gables. It says it's a prequel to Anne of Green Gables. It's by Budge Wilson, who happens to be from Halifax. So maybe this is sanctioned by the Lucy Maud Montgomery estate. I don't know. I don't know if this is considered canon or not, but if it has something to do with Anne of Green Gables, then I definitely want to check it out. And our library had it on CD, and it's also on Hoopla Audio. So one way or the other, I will be able to listen to this. So I might just go ahead and borrow it on Hoopla. That way, if I need to speed it up, I can. But if I enjoy the narrator and want to just listen to it at regular time, it says it's 14 hours unabridged, and the narrator is Renee Rodman. So I'm looking forward to this. I love Anne of Green Gables, so I think I'm really going to enjoy this book. And I hope it doesn't disappoint me. Then another book that I have loaned out to 2 or 3 other church friends, and they loved it, is The Good Dream by Donna Van Leer. And I discovered that our library had it on CD, and it also is available on Hoopla Audio. In regular time, it is, let's see, it's 7 CDs, and so how long is that? It does not tell me how long. Usually that means it's probably like 8 or 9 hours. Oh no, it says it's only 7.5 hours. And it is narrated by the author. Oh, wonderful. Now, I have some other Christmas books by her that I'm really looking forward to reading in December, but I've had this book on my shelf for a while, and my friends who read it says that it is a little bit of a tearjerker and that it's really good, so I'm looking forward to it. Then I also have a book that was recommended to me by a member of the Friends of the Library in another town. I was at a book sale, and we were kind of recommending books to each other, and she recommended this one. It's The Readers of Broken Wheel Recommend by Katarina Bybald, and I am hoping that this is going to be good. I believe it's about a book club. It's translated from Swedish, I believe, and I found that my library has it on audio CD. It is written by Katarina Bybald, and it looks like it has 2 narrators, Fiona Hardingham and Lorelei King. Oh, I just listened to something else that was narrated by Lorelei King. I believe it was the Debbie Maycomber book, Love Letters, and she was really good. So that's exciting. And it is 12 hours on CD. Then I also am going to finally listen to a Sarah Dessen book. She's one of my collected authors I've never read, and this was the first Sarah Dessen book that I ever got, and my library had it on audio CD, and it is narrated by Stina Nielsen, and it is 12.5 hours on CD. So I have a couple more. I picked up this book by Susan Wiggs, The Goodbye Quilt, at a library book sale or a library bookstore maybe a year ago. I thought it would be something my sister might enjoy, and it's pretty short. So I thought, I'll just go ahead and read it first, and I just hadn't gotten around to it yet. So when I was looking it up, I noticed that my library had it on audio. It's, like I said, it's very short. It's just 4 discs, and it's 4.5 hours. So I will probably be able to knock this one out very quickly. Susan Wiggs is a romance author. Sarah from Novel Expectations. Now she has changed her channel name to Not Just Romance Novels, I think is her channel name now. She did a whole video on Susan Wiggs. She didn't talk about this book specifically, but she did really enjoy her as an author, so I'm looking forward to this book. And then I also have a book by Erling Fowler. She's another one of my collected authors I've never read, and I didn't really want to start the Benny Harper mystery series yet. I've collected almost all of those, but it's kind of late in the year to be starting a big series, and this book, Love Mercy, says that it's the first book in the Love Mercy Johnson series, but there's not any other books, so even if I read this, I'm still going to be caught up. And it is on audio. The library had it right here on CD. It is 12 hours on 10 discs. The narrator is Johanna Parker, and that hopefully will be good. Now, the Benny Harper mystery series has an underlying quilt theme, and I don't know if this has a quilt theme or not, but we shall see. Now, somebody asked me the other day when I was just showing some books, they're like, why don't you tell the synopsis? And I would love to do that, but I don't really know the synopsis of a lot of these books, and I'm still struggling with filming on my camera. It is cutting off. If I get too long, my camera will cut off, and I haven't figured out yet how to put two different sections together. So so that's why I'm kind of rushing through this. If I go back to my old camera, then it's just going to be low quality. So please bear with me. I would really like to tell you a little bit more about these books, but what I'm going to do is after I read them, of course, I will put them in a wrap-up, and I still owe you some summer wrap-ups. I need to tell you about the books that I read over the summer, and as soon as I finish up the book hauls, then I will get that done, and I'll probably just do a few in each video and group them according to genres. So look forward to that coming up in the very near future, hopefully. So I think I have... I think that's all of the audiobooks that that I plan to read for October, at least standalone. That's all the standalones. And I do have a couple of series books that I'm planning to listen to on audio that I did not get to in September. I would have listened to these in September, but I've been waiting on The Air to come from the library, and it's been checked out. It's probably overdue by now because it's been saying that it was checked out now since before the hurricane, and I am hoping that they don't lose it or mess it up or something, that I can still listen to this on audio, because I already checked out The Crown thinking that The Air would be here very soon. So if it doesn't get here soon, I'll just have to go ahead and check The Crown back in and hopefully be able to get The Air and listen to both of these in the month of October, even though they're series books. This will finish this series for me, and it's on the list of 17 books. Both of these are on the list of 17 books that my daughter Katie wants me to read, and I am gradually checking those off. I have finished up several books on that list just this month, so I want to get these done too. All right, now let's move on. Actually, I think I'll go ahead and cut this here, and I'll do the print books in a separate video. So this will be part 1 of my October TBR. Those are the audiobooks that I plan to listen to during the month of October, and I can usually get about 10 audiobooks done without a lot of pushing. So this is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think, I don't know, this is at least 10, maybe 12. So I think I can get those done if I really focus. A couple of them are pretty short, and so I think I can do it. So I'll be back right after this with part 2 of my October TBR and let you know what I'm going to be reading in print. So that's all I have for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.